Thank you, sir. Can you bend the mic a little bit to me? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. We thank the government for the measures in pushing R&D in Singapore. We all recognize the importance. And as in any investment, there should be proper returns. I have previously spoken on the need for us to track our R&D outcomes, monitor the impact, as well as to think of better ways in which we can improve. So this cut, sir, will focus on a few issues. Firstly, the need to better track R&D outcomes. Governments around the world have found ways to do so. For example, the US maintains the Interagency Edition, or I-Edition, which is a unified electronic data system used by more than 30 US federal funding agencies. I-Edition receives, stores, tracks, sorts, monitors, and generates reports of inventions and patents that have resulted from awards, extramural grant, or contract funding. Germany applies an internal rule that innovation programs with a total budget exceeding 50 million euros have to be evaluated shortly after the end of a program, or at the latest every 5 years. And that would be ex post evaluation. For newly designed programs, or in the case of a prolongation of an existing program, an ex ante evaluation will assess the rationale of public intervention, formulate a range of objectives and suitable instruments, and assess the impact of government-owned intervention. Evaluations are carried out solely by external organizations that are selected through a call for tenders. And elsewhere in other places like UK, Hong Kong, etc., third parties have been commissioned to undertake evaluation of R&D investments. In addition, we need to have more upstream measures to better R&D decisions and downstream measures to facilitate tech transfer and IP commercialization. Some of the useful practices in other countries include the use of patent analytics and landscaping, which are aimed at informing policy decisions, strategic research planning, and technology transfer. For example, if we take a look at what Taiwan has done, they have the Industrial and Technology Research Institute, and it actively developed strategic mapping of IP and patent analytics. It institutionalized IP mapping along its R&D process, where researchers are required to do IP mapping, landscape mapping, before they embark on an R&D project. I think the benefits of that are obvious. We need to know what is already there and don't reinvent the wheel. Also, the institution conforms new inventions to the industry's needs through IP mapping, along with patent review procedures to strengthen quality and practicality. ITRI has won awards at R&D 100 Award, and each year since 2005. And they have built a sizable portfolio of more than 20,000 patents, the quality of which could be evidenced in the successful patent lawsuits against Samsung in 2009 and out-licensing deals to major companies like Mitsui. I believe that in Singapore, IPOS is also building up its capability for landscaping, patent landscaping and investigations. In China, researchers are able to work for companies that buy their research for up to 3 years while maintaining their positions at the institute where they did the research. This is to incentivize researchers to conduct R&D with a view to commercial application instead of merely academic application. Hopefully, this will also, if we adopt it here, allow us to have a more market-driven and more market-sensitive research. The Korean government has also been working directly with 30 universities and public research institutes to assess commercial applications on the patents, and there are more than 3,000 in all. This has resulted in approximately 50 inventions that are transferred to relevant industries, generating a total of US $3.8 million in royalties. I think there is much that Singapore can do in learning from different countries. There are many proactive efforts going on, and so I would like to ask for clarification from the government in a few areas. How does the government categorize the different areas of R&D, and what are these categories? In respect of each category, what are the indicators used to track our returns on R&D investment? What are the commercialization rates of our technology transfer offices? What is the total spending on R&D in the last decade? What are the productivity improvement rates in relevant industries benefiting from such R&D over the last decade? Excluding researchers, what are the employment numbers that have been generated in Singapore for Singapore industries as a result of R&D outcomes over the last decade for what we have spent? And how have Singaporean researchers progressed and benefited from collaborations with external researchers, again over the last decade? What are the socio-economic impact that has been achieved by R&D investments, and specifically in which industries, sectors, and for which groups of persons? What are the practices in place to ensure better economic outcomes from our R&D investments? From my questions, I'm sure it is clear that I'm driving at not just economic, but also socio-economic impact. And I hope that when the government sets out KPIs as well as measurables, we would take those into consideration. In addition, there should be also greater duties on the part of institutions receiving grants to cooperate with government by furnishing information and by giving data so that we are able to build the necessary landscaping. With this, I thank the Chair.